So the crew is back again, and we're back to talk about sports, especially after a hectic week of international break action. We are back to enjoy club football, and it's all action in Europe, especially in Italy. Obviously, the Derby della Madonnina is on. In the English Premier League is the North London Derby. Arsenal will be hosting Tottenham Hotspurs. City have a tricky duel against Newcastle United. Barcelona will be returning to the new Spotify Camp Nou to take on Athletic Bilbao. We'll also spend time and talk about some news making round in Europe. Let's not forget Gennaro Gattuso's bombshell. Sammy told you that on Thursday we'll explore that statement. According to Gattuso, he believes that the slot that FIFA has given CAF is too much. After all, when we go there, we don't do anything. They should reduce the slot for the African countries and increase that of the European countries. We'll get into all of these topics as we talk sports this morning. You're welcome to Sports 101. We're back on air, and it's Sport 101. It's a sports morning show. We're live every Monday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and Thursdays as well, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So we're here to give you excellent dose of quality sports discussion. And obviously, it's the usual suspects, Sammy and Kofi. They've joined us this morning in the studios to talk about sports. Guys, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Everything cool?
Everything crisp, nice, beautiful, smooth.
You seem to be
excellent.
In an
yeah, we are zooming straight into the weekend. I saw a Liverpool fan smiling yesterday.
Why Liverpool fans have no right to be happy?
I wasn't too happy yesterday. I mean, the international break has come. They are smiling. We need to go back to the international break, to the club football. We need to see them go through frustrations. You understand? I saw another Chelsea fan also laughing and jumping around yesterday. I wasn't too excited.
So which fans deserve to be happy when the international break is over?
Manchester United fans.
Why? No, what is United doing that is so extraordinary that Chelsea is not doing?
One, United have a better manager than the Chelsea manager.
Okay.
One, two, you see that whole fallacy about the Club World Cup, the Mickey Mouse Trophy.
But you can't take
no,
that
they are not even the best club in London. That's the point. They are not even the best club in London. I mean, how can you not be the best club?
The entirety of London.
They are not the best club in London. Arsenal is the best club in London.
Okay.
You understand? You're not even the best club in London. How can you mention being the best club in the world? So, even in Europe, where are they on the Champions League table?
So for that reason, Chelsea fans should not be happy.
Which one?
So for that reason, Chelsea fans should not be excited that the
weekend
international break is over.
The weekend is 9.
Yeah.
We'll let them zoom into reality one more time.
Sammy?
Yes.
Kofi believes that Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, they don't deserve to be happy.
Oh, but he's speaking as a fan, so it's allowed. Yeah, it's normal.
Do they deserve to be excited about the coming weekend?
Who, the Chelsea
fans, Liverpool fans?
I don't think Chelsea have a problem.
Yeah,
I think Chelsea are doing,
and they're playing
okay.
Burnley over the weekend.
They are doing quite okay. They don't have any problem. If anything at all, maybe the Liverpool fans might, they are back to reality, and then you don't know what to expect.
But Liverpool have an easier fixture. They'll be taking on Forest at home.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Liverpool have had a start-stop season. They haven't really been consistent. So there are games that ordinarily you say Liverpool are supposed to be the favorites. But now you can't really predict what Liverpool will show up. So The Liverpool fans going into these games, usually they will be very confident, but as it stands now, I'm thinking that the confidence wouldn't be as it used to be until they win, a run of games. But for the Chelsea fans, I don't think the Chelsea fans have any problem.
Anyway, we'll get to talk about the upcoming weekend fixtures. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, especially the North London derby. Will Arsenal slip up against Tottenham Hotspur? Can Man City keep up the chase? We also talk about Barcelona. They returning to the Spotify Camp Nou against Bilbao. Also, we'll get to talk about the big game across Europe this weekend, the Derby della Madonnina, Inter Milan against AC Milan. But we'll start off from the African continent. And last night, Sammy, the CAF Awards took place in Morocco, Marrakesh, and it was a beautiful ceremony. Fuse ODG performed. All the big guys from the African terrain were there. Didier Drogba was there. Just name them. Our very own Asamoah Gyan was there. All the big boys. But I mean, in the end, it looks like it was more of a Moroccan award because they swept most of the awards on the day. The biggest award on the night went to Hakimi winning the African Football of the Year. Sami, your take on that award and the entire ceremony which took place yesterday?
I think that it was a good one. I watched highlights. I could have watched the entire ceremony, but to be honest, I wasn't really interested in watching it. I later watched snippets of it, because that excitement we used to get from watching these voted for awards and all of that. Now I don't really find it as exciting. When it comes to voted for awards, but again, I think it just tells us something that Morocco is at the center of African football as it stands now, because everything is happening in Morocco. The tournaments are happening in Morocco, the playoffs are happening in Morocco, the awards are happening in Morocco. Everything is going on in Morocco. The AFCON is coming up in Morocco. The women's AFCON is coming up. Everything is Morocco. It tells you how far they have come. It tells you the quality that they bring to African football and the development that they have brought. So overall, I think we saw. I like the setup. I like the fact that we saw a lot of top African personalities. We saw ex-footballers grace the occasion. So yes, it means that it's something that's still very important to a lot of these African legends. The fact that they graced the occasion, and, we saw some nice performances as well. So yes, I think that it was an interesting award all in all. Yes, but in my opinion, I voted for awards. Trust me, I don't find them as interesting. Okay. I would rather watch maybe the draw for the AFCON or the draw for the FIFA World Cup. That's a ceremony I would want to see. But for voted for awards, yes, your favorite might win, but I'm sure we'll get into the details. I don't think that there are so many arguments with some of the awards that were picked up.
All right, so we'll get into the details as Sami, has elaborated. We'll take a quick break. I mean, just about 10, 20 seconds break. We'll come back and we'll get into the details of the CAF Awards. Hakimi winning the ultimate award there. We'll get into the female player of the year, the club of the year, the team of the year. We'll get into the details and you hear from Kofi as well. This is Sports 101. back as well, and make sure you click the subscribe button so that you get notified every time we go live. Like I told you, the show is live from Mondays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On Mondays and Thursdays. We're live on YouTube, Sport 101. Kindly share the link and tell everybody that the crew is here to talk sports. If you've not followed us on all the social media platforms, make sure you do so, on Facebook, on TikTok, and Sport 101. And like I told you, we're looking at the CAF Awards, and we'll get into the awards in detail. But don't forget, the show is proudly, held down by Inconim Phones. When I say Inconim Phones, I'm talking about quality phones, quality phone accessories, everything technology and everything phone. You can find it at Inconim Phones. They are located at Takrady Market Circle, just close to the Bank of Africa. I mean, you cannot miss Inconim Phones. When you get there, tell them, oh, you heard their name on Sport 101. They have a nice package for you. Sammy, you are saying that you're not too enthused about the awards, especially voted for awards and all that. But let's pick on some of the awards and the winners of the awards. You are looking at Morocco as the national team of the year. Achraf Hakimi winning the player of the year. This, I mean, you can't have any doubt with the award winners or those who won the awards in the various categories.
Well, I think Morocco were the biggest winners. They practically swept.
Yeah.
They were under 17 Africa Cup of Nations champions. They were women's futsal Africa Cup of Nations champions. They were the CHAN champions. They were at the under 20 Africa Cup of Nations, where they were runners up. They were runners up in the women's AFCON. And they were the first team to qualify for the World Cup 2026. At the same time, they were the under 20 world champions. Best young female player, El Madani is Moroccan. Best young male, best African player, Hakimi. Best goalkeeper, Yassine Bono. Also, there was also best female player. So Morocco practically swept all the awards on the night. But I think that, as I said earlier on, it was an interesting one. It was a good one. Hakimi winning the ultimate. I don't think any other player came close to him in the year under review. Maybe Mohamed Salah. But Salah himself, there were reports that he wasn't at the ceremony. And so, but when you look at what Hakimi accomplished last season, winning the Champions League, winning the French League, he was unfortunate not to win the Club World Cup. And the contribution he made to his Paris Saint-Germain side, and the Moroccan national team, I think that he deserved it. I don't think that any other African player comes close to what Achraf Hakimi accomplished in the year under review. And going into the AFCON as hosts, I think that Morocco themselves are favorites to win it on home soil, and I'll be surprised if they don't win it. And so yes, it was a good one. It was a good awards. I know Yassine Bono, in my opinion, again, he is the best goalkeeper on the African continent. I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. We've seen him time and time again. In as much as he plays in the Saudi Pro League, he is still one of the top best goalkeepers in the world. And so you look at the women's team of the year, Nigeria. Yes, they won the WAFCON. So obviously, it's difficult to bet against the Super Falcons. And so you look at all these awards. I just think that there were a lot of other categories that were added, a few others that were added to it, like the CAF Outstanding Awards and all of that. But all in all, I think it was a brilliantly organized
Kofi,
awards.
Your take on the CAF Awards and Achraf Hakimi winning the. I think that nobody can actually have or raise qualms about him winning the award. He won the Champions League. He won the league also in France. It will be difficult for anybody to make a case for the likes of Mo Salah. Genuinely well deserved. And your take on the entire ceremony.
Well, I'm not too surprised. The best right back in the world currently.
Do you think Hakimi is the best right back in the world?
Name me a better right fullback.
Reece James.
Oh, come on. It's Thursday. I don't want to do this. Rich James is not a better player than Hakimi. Not by any stretch of
Is it that
imagination. No.
you wake
no,
up
no.
wanting to court controversy or what? Because
You mentioned the award. I'm telling you that the award was won by the best right fullback in the world. You said you had doubt. I'm saying mention names, and then you
I'm
come
not
up.
saying I have doubt.
You come up
with
with a
names.
hospital patient.
Okay.
The guy cannot play 5 matches in a row.
So maybe
Yes.
he's talking about the fit regimes.
That's a hypothetical world. The guy cannot. I'm daring him to play 10 matches in a row. You understand? So yeah, I mean, Rich James is a good player, but he's not on Hakimi's level. He's not. Please, I mean, he's a good player. I like him. I think there are only 3 good players at Chelsea. You understand? Rich James, Caicedo, and then
Enzo
Kopama.
Fernandez.
Oh no, he's not a good player. You understand? So so I, like Sami said, I think that the awards has been on point. If you looked at the chronology of the awards, you realize that every year Africa is trying to improve on the quality. We've always talked about the fact that when it comes to these awards, it has to be time sensitive. You understand? And it's one area that I feel they are very much improving. You understand? I mean, doing everything in a summary, doing it crisp, working on the time consciousness and all of that. I had some few worries about the awards. You understand? I had some worries about
which of the
some
things
of
or
the,
issues.
what's the name
were
of the
worrying to you?
Tanzanian president? The female.
The female, Salema something. Yeah, what has she done?
She was given an award.
But you know, it's a thing with Africa. We don't really, some of these things, we don't really take them seriously, especially what she did in her country and all of that. But if she was given an award, they think that she deserves it.
We don't take it serious.
Yes, if we really took it serious, I don't think that a lot of African nations will entertain her.
No, because
Why was she
some-
given the award, CAF Outstanding Award? Why?
Because probably she's the first female
It's held
in that
contribution
region.
to
Exactly.
football.
And what
some
she's
of the
done
some
for
of
the
the
game.
some of the names in that category, they scare me.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
they-
saying, that we don't take
Yeah,
these
some
things
of the
seriously.
names in that category.
President of Tanzania, President of Kenya, President of Uganda.
Yeah, some of those names, they really, really scare me. And for me, I think there's something that we need to look at, because Africa is not Christopher Columbus. We don't live in an island, you understand? And so whatever it is that we do, we have to do it in collaboration with the rest of the world. And I think that image is everything, you understand? I mean, so you cannot take politics away from football.
That's
also.
very true.
Yeah,
That's
so those are some of the little things. But for me, I am not too surprised about the sweep by the Moroccans. Yeah, it's not rocket science.
You've always, stayed there doing something
It's
great.
data and then it's science. You understand? I mean, there's a reason why they have the best right fullback in the world. You understand? There's a reason why their national teams across all other spectrum is doing very well. Look, from futsal to women's football to juvenile football, everything is doing well. So you ask themselves, are they a special breed created by God? Or they have leaders who think and act and then do what is right by the people?
The latter works.
I wanted to say some few good mornings, but
Yeah, sure. Why not?
good morning to the Minister of Sports in Ghana.
Yeah, Kofi Adams.
Yes, Honorable Kofi
Adams. When I say something against him, you go like I formed a cabal and all of that. But I mean, I don't know. But let us know your take on the CAF awards and any award out there you think somebody was robbed of in quote. But I think that it's unanimous in the studios here. Achraf Hakimi deserves the award. So you've not heard a lot of complaints about the awards. It's one of the very few times CAF will hold an award and you hardly hear anybody complaining about the awards. We'll quickly get into some more weightier and heavier issues. Kofi, after Italy lost to Norway, Gattuso made some scathing comments in relation to the slot that Africa has. Africa now has 9 automatic slots. Initially, it was 5. And a lot of people are upset. Even yesterday, Italian di Sport, one of their popular newspapers, was the article was about concentrate on getting Italy to the World Cup and stop making, in quote, unnecessary comments. Not just him, many people have come at him. He simply says that because each time we go to the World Cup, we don't perform, and so we don't deserve the 9 slot. Kofi, your take on Gattuso's comments?
I agree. I agree with him.
You agree, Gattuso?
Yeah,
that Africa doesn't deserve the slots they have.
We don't. We are wasting the slots.
But Europe deserves the slots they have. 16.
No, there's a reason why the Europeans have won the most World Cups. There's a reason why. And then there again, we lean on sports and science. You understand? I mean, there's a reason. Europe is the citadel of football. Whether you like it or if you take away European football from the World Cup, it is rubbish. If you take away European football from the World Cup, it is rubbish. I mean, who in South America, Argentina or Brazil, who? Even the best players from those continents play in Europe. That is where they hone their talent and become the world-class players they have become today. You understand? The best players in the world from South America play in Europe. Which South American do you know is a good player who is not playing in Europe? Do you understand? So I agree with Gattuso. I will come to some of the comments that he made. I have some disagreement with some of the comments. No, don't worry. I have some disagreement with some of the comments that he has made. But on the whole, I agree with him. 9 slots for Africa for what? Many of the African countries going to the World Cup are just going to occupy space and time. Matter. They are matter.
It's not the same for the European countries. Many of them going to occupy space and time. You can mention just about 5 European nations who are likely to win the title.
Look, I can guarantee you that there will be a minimum of 4 European countries in the quarterfinal. I can guarantee you. I don't need to be a prophet. I don't need to do rocket science. I can guarantee you that there will be a minimum. There will be Germany in there. Spain. There will be Spain in there. France. There will be France in there. There will be England probably in there. You understand? There will be Portugal in there. I can guarantee you.
So you mentioned.
Look. Why do we sit on this continent and then celebrate Morocco going to the semi-final after over 100 years of the World Cup being in existence?
Because over the years, even when the World Cup started, Africa was not part. The first time we took part, it was invitational. DR Congo. Congo at the time. Zaire, right? Yeah, Zaire.
So the point is simple. Which African countries have qualified for the World Cup? Look, you take away the North Africans. Only Morocco will go and perform, probably to a large extent. Algeria. Who? Tunisia.
Senegal.
Senegal are not going anywhere. You saw what Brazil did to Senegal a couple of days ago. When the tournament starts proper, we'll separate the boys from the men. So you can be in Africa and be beating Kenya 8-0 and all of that. Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
What do you say to the statement that people have made that, listen, that is an unfair statement to make, because even in Europe is made up of 44 nations represented in FIFA. And out of the 44, they have 16 slots. Africa is made up of 55 nations. Out of the 55, we have just 9.
Yeah.
And even in Europe, out of that 44 nations, you can bet that only about 6 have always been there, or 6, 7 have always been there. Once in a while, you have a flash in the pan. Likewise with Africa. Even with our 55, there's always about 4, 5, 6. So it's an unfair statement to make, because the narrative works for both continents.
How?
Because you have, as of now.
I'll attempt to break it
I don't
down.
know if you get what I'm trying to say.
I get the point you're making. Europe has 44 countries. They have 16
representation. Africa have 55. We have just 9.
Brilliant science and math quiz. Schools in the Western region have as many schools. There's only GSTS and the rest. You understand? So there are not so many schools of that concentration in Cape Coast. But from them, you are guaranteed a certain spectrum. Look. How many African countries can compete with even the grade B European countries? Norway, Turkey. How many African countries can compete with them? I'm not talking about the grade A. Grade B. Croatia, Norway, Turkey. How many African countries can compete with them? How many have players in good standing who have gone through the mill and are able to take the world and then make the world stage put themselves in the limelight
Japan,
when
Korea,
it comes
saw
to
what Senegal showcased to the world.
that was a fluke. It was a flash in the pan.
They went all the way to the quarterfinal.
It was a flash in the pan.
beat
It was
Denmark.
just like
They beat
us.
France.
It
They
was
beat-
just like us at the South Africa World Cup.
Okay.
Flash in the pan.
So you agree?
I agree that a lot of the slots that Africa is being given, we are just going to waste the slots. And look, we need to be true to ourselves. We are there because of international geopolitics. We are there because FIFA and the leadership want a certain block from Africa when they want all of the votes, when they want leadership. And so it's a trade that they necessarily have to make sure that they are relevant at the top. We are not there because of footballing reasons. We are there mainly because of political reasons. And for me, I couldn't have agreed more with Gattuso.
I'll come back to the other issues you had. Kwamsi, Sammy,
Yeah.
Kofi believes that is a spot-on statement because we don't deserve it. After how many years? The first World Cup was said in 1930 or so. For God knows how long, it took us 2022 before we made the semi-finals. That's enough reason to say, come on, why do you have 9 slots from Africa?
I think Gattuso is just being silly. I totally disagree with everything that he said. I feel I want to use the right words. I feel he's just being an entitled sports brat that feels that things should be handed to them. Look, the Italian team is not good. He is not doing a good job. They have missed out on the last 2 World Cups. It's not a fluke. The teams that have qualified from the African scene have qualified directly to the World Cup. He had an opportunity to qualify directly. You didn't take your opportunity. So if you haven't taken your opportunity, what's the guarantee that even if the African slots were reduced, what's the guarantee you would have qualified from the European, from UEFA, even if the slots were more?
If the slots were reduced, that would mean that in Europe would have about, let's say, first and second will qualify, and they would have gone through because they were second on the table.
Look, at the end of the day, let's break it down. You have UEFA having 16. It was increased from 13. My problem is why single out the African, confederation?
And he was specific.
No.
When we go there,
Asia, what do they do there at the World Cup?
But the Asian bloc, everybody knows that the Asian bloc and football, they are now coming up.
Okay, but they were increased from 5 to 8.
But they have been better than Africa.
How have they been better than Africa?
Yeah.
Relatively.
How have they been better than Africa?
In successive World Cup.
No.
Yeah.
How have they been better than Africa?
Japan made it to the quarterfinals in 1994. They've made it to the quarterfinals on several occasions. South Korea made it to the semi-finals.
What do you mean several occasions?
South Korea made to the semi-finals
One time.
in 2002. So at least
One time.
It's not about their hosting, but at least. And
So Africa hasn't been to the semi-final?
Said, relatively, when you compare the African bloc to the European bloc, we are terrible. And that's the
point
truth.
I'm making here is that why single out Africa?
Because Shenyadi.
So the Asians that are closer, look, when you go to CONMEBOL, for example, how many countries are in CONMEBOL?
I think about 13, right?
You think they are 13? They are about 9 or 10.
CONMEBOL. I
Yes.
thought you said South
America.
America. Yeah.
But how
10,
many-
10, they are 10.
but they have 6 going.
Yeah, because they have
Because
quality.
they have quality. You can, as for South
See,
America, you can't take that
That
away from
quality
them.
you are talking about
Yes.
is about 2 countries.
No.
No.
Now,
No.
no, let me make my
3
point.
South
Let me
American
make- let me-
countries
oh,
have won the
Uruguay.
World Cup. Yeah,
Oh,
3 of
let
them
me
have
make
won
my
the
point.
World
Like,
Cup.
Okay, Sammy, go ahead.
you see why Jeff always wants you sitting on this side.
You go ahead.
The point here is that
the executive producer
when
himself is
you
frustrated.
take 10 countries
Okay.
and you pick out 9, it's about finding balance.
Yeah.
It's not always about performance. It cannot always be about performance. It's about finding the balance. If not, when you go to CONCACAF, which is North Africa, can you mention 5 countries in North America? North America. If you take out Mexico, USA, Canada, which are already 3 hosts,
Costa Rica. Are there Costa Rica? Are there the Honduras, Panama?
If they were not host nations, these countries will struggle to qualify for the World Cup.
That's true.
And now they have 6 going to the World Cup. What has been their contribution at the World Cup?
And we know the reason why they have 6 this time around. Because they are hosting.
No. In the next edition, even if they are not hosting, they would have 6.
Because there's an expansion of the World Cup. At least
Exactly.
let there be a
because
fair balance.
initially it would have been 3. So that fair balance you're talking about is what I'm also talking about.
Okay.
So the 3 that have been going initially, what have they done at the World Cup? Which CONCACAF country can you remember has excited you at the World Cup?
None.
Or has done anything significant at the World Cup?
None.
So my point here is, why single out Africa? That's just a simple point I'm making. Now, when you talk about the European scene and we go into details about Europe, Europe have 4 slots left in the playoffs.
Yes. They actually get 4 from...
There is something called the Interconfederation playoff, where you have 2 slots. But Europe have their own special playoffs that has nothing to do with the rest of
And
the
you
world.
know why.
I'm coming.
Sammy, you know why. You're a pundit. You know why.
Lucky. I'm coming. It tells you that whether Gattuso likes it or not, the Europeans are being given preferential treatment, which they deserve. Yes. But don't come and pour sand in somebody's garage because you feel you are not doing well. Why is Portugal not complaining about Africa having 9 slots? Because they are good enough to qualify.
Okay.
Why is England not complaining? You've been given an opportunity to qualify.
You get his point.
No, but
And I'm coming. Let me just wrap up.
when you just fast.
Now, Sweden have not won 1 match in the World Cup qualifying.
I don't get why they are in the playoffs. Why?
But they are in the playoff
Why?
because of something called Nations League.
Why? They've not won a single game.
The playoffs, the qualifying round that is supposed to determine which team goes to the World Cup. You didn't win 1 single match. You were last in your group, but they say because of Nations League, you have another route to. So, okay, why is Italy not also having some of those? You are not doing well. It's just as simple as that. And look, it just tells you that Europe are still being given preferential treatment.
And Kofi answered
And
that
so
perfectly.
yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, they have been
They
the best
deserve it,
performance.
yeah.
Yes, I initially said they deserve it. So with all of that, if you still cannot find your way to the World Cup with all of that, you don't throw shades at some other confederation that have also been given a lifeline to also have an opportunity to come and represent with more countries
I get you now.
and then prove something at the World Cup. So it's just as simple as that. There was a time Africa had 2.
Yeah.
Maybe if at that time Africa had 3 or 4, Ghana would have qualified. Maybe with that time, with the national team that we had, we probably would have even done something brilliant there. So if FIFA is trying to find a balance, then you should make good use of where you find yourself. Because as I said, France and England and all these people, they would not be complaining about another continent slot because what they've been given, they prove that they are good enough to be there without breaking a sweat. It's just as simple as that.
Kofi, you said you had a little rebuttal to what Sammy was saying.
Well, Gattuso makes a point that in his time, if you finished second, you had a way of qualifying by virtue of the fact that Europe has always been the citadel of football.
Yeah.
You understand? And look, this is Italy, a major block at the World Cup.
Since when?
Italy have won the World Cup 4 times.
No, but
It's not about Italy, it's
1934,
about the continent.
1938, 1982, 2006. Look, Gattuso was making a point in reference to the Italians and then European football.
is it a bet right?
Which African player today do you think a kid in Venezuela wants to watch? You can answer me.
Oh, I can give you a
No. You can't.
That's the case. Then guys like Politao and all those people should not be given an opportunity. That's why it's World Cup.
I'm saying
If that's the case, then they should play their own World
I'm
Cup.
saying that which African player today, that's a kid in Wakaras want to watch? Which African player? Maybe you can help me with names. Nothing is coming to my head.
The show is so exciting that those outside are upset about the community guys.
No, they can be upset. You understand? But the World Cup is supposed to inspire people. The World Cup is supposed to inspire kids. The World Cup is supposed to be that torch that people will watch, and then you pass on the torch.
And
to
you
the
think there are
next
no kids
generation.
in Haiti? There are no kids in
saying-
Curacao that have qualified for the World Cup. Do you know how
saying
excited
that-
they are there?
I am saying
The world
that
is not just Europe.
which kid in Venezuela wants to watch which African player? Who? Semeno.
You talk about the best right back in the world coming from Africa. You think
You want them to watch who? Benjamin Asari. You want them to watch Benjamin Asari? No. Hold on.
yes,
you see,
Europe deserve
Hold on.
what they are getting. But they've been given several opportunities to qualify. So
You know Kofi for a long time. When Kofi knows that he's lost the argument, then he takes it in a different direction. I'm coming. I mentioned that I won't allow Kofi to. I mentioned that it was a dig at Africa, and Bafo has given me solid facts.
Yeah.
It was just a dig at Africa.
And
Why
I
are they not
agree.
talking about Asia? He's sent me some details that I've confirmed. Japan. You mentioned quarterfinal. They have never been to the
Japan has never
quarterfinal
been
of
to
the
the
World Cup.
quarterfinals. Oh.
South Korea one time
1994
when
they
they
were there.
hosted at the semi-final. China 0.
No, as for China, I
They've never
thought
qualified.
Japan were in the quarterfinals in '94.
So Asia have not done anything at the World Cup as compared to even what Africa has done. But they have 8. Why are you not talking about Asia? Why are you talking about Africa?
Kofi, do you get some
No,
response?
you see,
It was just a silly dig at Africa.
Hold on. These are the direct words of Gattuso. In my day, the best group runners-up went straight to the World Cup. Now the rules have changed. Italy record of 6 wins. So technically, he's saying that Italy is the best runner-up. You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, for all the European countries, and he's saying that in his day, the best runners-up went straight to the
the
World Cup.
rules
No,
have
hold on. You are talking about rules, and Sami here sits here and confidently talks about Sweden because of your rules.
Whose rules?
Your rules. You are saying the rules have changed, but you don't call him to other when he talks about Sweden.
Because I agree. They don't deserve that.
Hold
Now, what
on.
matches-
So you know about rules, and then you allow Sami to talk confidently about rules. You understand? That speaks a lot about your hypocrisy.
What
but
rules-
I'll-
what
I'll-
rules is-
I'll-
what rules
I'll
are we talking
allow-
about?
I'll allow it to slide.
What rules is Kofi talking about?
Then Gattuso makes the point that in 1990 and 1994, there were 2 African teams. Now there are 9. You understand? Look, let's be fair to ourselves. Let's not get sentimental. Let's not get sentimental because we are Africans. For this World Cup that we are going,
Yeah.
which African countries do you think will do well? Let's not get sentimental.
I think on top of my head, I'll mention Morocco.
And who?
I would mention
I'll
Senegal.
mention Senegal.
And who?
I think Morocco,
Which of
Senegal.
the Senegals? Which of the
I
Senegals?
think Morocco, Senegal look like a solid.
Look. You are talking about Senegal, which is going with the worst side, don't mind me, which has their lead striker in Jackson.
Sami made a very beautiful point, Kofi. And like you said, over the years, Africa had smaller or few slot. And with few slot, you cannot get the opportunity to do well. Imagine you have 1 slot. when Zaire was invited, how can you even get to the quarterfinals or semis? It was I'm coming.
No. That theory is not right. That theory is not right.
Coming when you realize that
no.
Started being increased. Africa started doing very well.
You do not need a bigger spectrum to do well. South America can have only one slot. They will come and do well.
No.
South America can only come with Brazil or Argentina. They will still get to the semi-final.
And you think South America is not riding on the success of Brazil and Argentina to have those
six?
So why is it that Italy, which has 4 World Cups, and then in his time, he's saying that the second best runner-up qualifies straight to the World Cup because we are talking about Italy, a major block in why the World Cup.
Why not have qualified for the last 2 World Cups in a row?
Why not Asia? Why didn't he talk about Asia?
Why Asia? Is the game in Africa developed more than the game in Asia?
So why did he single out Africa?
Is the game in Africa developed more than the game in Asia?
Relatively, yes.
No.
Relatively, yes.
No African probably. I take Morocco out of the picture.
Don't take Morocco out. They're in Africa.
Look. When you go to Asia, the level of development that the game has grown to, you do not mention Africa in that conversation. You do not mention.
But haven't we seen Asian teams against African teams? Didn't the Black Stars beat Korea at the last World Cup?
Jeff is making a lot of noise.
No. It's a big point. How many Asian players have you ever seen being nominated on the biggest platform? But we consistently see African players being nominated in the Ballon d'Or, in the FIFA best conversation, the list. How many Asian players do you see being nominated in that list?
Consistently see which African players being nominated
over the years. At least you would always see 1 or 2 African players
in which Ballon d'Or.
Oh, come on! This year there was a Hakimi in there.
Okay.
In the list there was Hakimi in there.
Okay.
Sani has Salah has been in there.
Okay.
Stadio Mane has been in there. FIFA World Bet he's been in there. How many Asian players have you ever seen being nominated in that list? Ever since you started watching and following football?
I can get you names.
Get me the names. Get me the names. So what Sami is saying is that I think that it was just a dig at Africa because Asia, they've also had their slots increased. And other continents have had their slots increased. Why Gattuso not criticizing the other continent?
No, because the game is more developed in other jurisdictions than it is in Africa. Yes.
So these jurisdictions you are talking about, which of them is better than Africa? Is it CONCACAF? Is it Asia?
Which one?
He's asking a simple question.
Which of them?
Why? You think that African football is better than the Asian football?
Of course, African football is better than. And I've just given you analogy.
You must be joking.
We met them on the world stage.
You must be
when
joking.
we met them on the world stage, what happened?
You must be joking.
What happened?
The excitement
has spilled
over to them.
Nigeria Korea with Son Heung-min will World Cup last time now.
You must be joking.
What have they done at the World Cup? What has the Asian Confederation done at the World Cup?
The excitement has spilled over to the executive producers and all of that. But we want to have your take. We want to have your take on this particular issue. Please, do you think that Gattuso's comments are justified or were justified in relation to? Sami believes that it was just a dig at Africa because Asia also have their slots increased. Why didn't he talk about Asia? After all, Asia have not done anything special more than Africa has done. So why didn't he talk about Asia? Why didn't he talk about the other continent? But just talking about Africa. Kofi believes that, listen, Gattuso is spot on, and that our game has not developed to the level of the other continent, and so he thinks that we don't deserve the slots that we have. Let me know your take on this in the comment section, in the chat section. It's the sports morning. It's a sports morning show right here on Sport 101. I mean, keep sharing the link. Tell everybody the guys are here to talk about sport. But Kofi, a quick one. So, in this same conversation, all right, Sami, let me come to you. In this same conversation, a quick one on this. You saw what the Portuguese did in their highest, victories in this series of qualifiers. They've scored 9 goals, and in both series, Ronaldo was not part of those games that they played. The discussion going on is, I think Roberto Martinez needs to be bold in his decisions at the World Cup. He thinks that he shouldn't make Ronaldo the center of this team, the main man, because there's so much quality in this Portuguese team. Ronaldo being the center and the main man would take a lot away from this Portuguese team. Ronaldo should be coming off from the bench. What do you make of this statement?
No, I think it's nonsense. I don't agree. I think the Portuguese team know how to play with Ronaldo in the team, and then they know how to play without Ronaldo in the team. It's more about understanding your teammates. So if Gonzalo Ramos is starting up top, they know how to play with him in the team. If it's Cristiano Ronaldo up top, they know how to play with him. And don't forget, when was it Albania? They went away to beat. They beat
nine. They beat Liechtenstein by 9, then beat Albania at home 2 by 9. Both
yes.
Ronaldo did not
So
play.
when they went away from home to Albania in the first leg, they beat them by 5-0 with Cristiano in the team. So I don't get what the point is.
But do you think the Portuguese team is a better team overall with Ronaldo leading the attacks than the Portuguese team without Ronaldo leading the attack overall?
I think every team is better with Ronaldo in it.
Current
yes,
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes, I think every team is better with Ronaldo. It just depends on how the team plays. There are certain teams that would want to play with maybe a high press and all of that. Then you can say that Cristiano would be a liability in the team because he probably will not press as much as he's supposed to.
Yeah.
To press. But again, there is a way that the Portuguese team would want to play where the manager understands how he wants to use Cristiano Ronaldo, and he's always a threat. He's always a threat. He can get you a goal at any moment in the game. And look, he has not been idle up top for Portugal. Throughout the qualifiers, when he's in the team, he's always been scoring. So I don't see why that should be a problem, because as I said initially, his teammates and the coach know how to play with him in the team. Yes, you can't take away the fact that if you have a younger player there, it brings a lot more energy. But where he lacks in that energy and then the pressing, he complements with his positional play, his finishing and all of that. So again, if Ronaldo were to be maybe in a different team, maybe in the Premier League, for example, with that lots of intensity and all of that.
Yeah.
If I were a coach, maybe I would bring him at certain point in the game. But when it comes to national team football and how the team wants to play, that's a totally different dynamic. And at the same time, there was a point I was seeking to make, but it skipped me, but I'm sure you'll come back. But at the same time, it's just about his teammates understanding what the player brings to the team. I'm sure he might not start all the games at the World Cup, but his mere presence in the team, yes, that's what I was seeking to bring. His mere presence in the team on the pitch, it's a lot of distraction for defenders. So when you're playing at a certain level, especially with national team football, I think we shouldn't be quick to criticize or bring in some of these statistics, because when he's been in the team, has the team been playing well? Has the team been winning? Has he been scoring goals? Has he been doing his job? Yes. If that's the case, great. Maybe he will not put out the same performance if it were to be a different team. But in this Portuguese team, he's giving them the results. And I think that's all that matters.
Can this Portuguese team go all the way to the final and even win it without Ronaldo?
Without Ronaldo,
when I look at the Portuguese team, it's a loaded team.
Yeah.
Even without Ronaldo,
I think they are one of the favorites.
Yes, it's a loaded team from defense to mid. They have one of the best midfield combination in the world. So can they go all the way to the final without Ronaldo?
Of course they can. They can go without Ronaldo, but I think it'll be easier with Ronaldo.
You think
just because of what he brings to the team, whether he's on the bench, whether he's on the pitch. I think once he's in that team, there's that added, motivation for the team. There's that added energy for the team. So he doesn't really have to be on the pitch. But once he's in the team, I think that this Portuguese team, with Ronaldo in the starting 11, without him in the starting 11, look, they have one of the best teams in the world as it stands now, and I think that they can actually go all the way. They were the last four in the last World Cup. I think they'll be looking to better that, final bet. And if they had made it to the final in 2022, I think it would have been one of the best finals we've ever seen. And they would probably have won it, because look, when Portugal gets to a final of a competition, in recent times, we've always seen how it's played out. And if Portugal had made it past Morocco, that was in the quarterfinal, and made it to the semis, and they had made it to the final, maybe. So yes, they were out in the quarterfinal in that last edition of the World Cup. So I think this Portuguese team have a lot of talent, especially in midfield.
Yeah.
Look, with Vitinha and João Neves and Bruno Fernandes in that midfield. And you remember, they have the guy in Saudi. He's still one solid midfielder.
Diego Jota's friend.
Yes.
His name is
Neves.
Ruben Neves?
Ruben Neves, yeah.
He is also in the team. Bernardo Silva is also there.
And
Portuguese team.
there's that Manchester United now converted, Manchester City converted right back. He's also a midfielder, though he plays now as a right back.
Yes. What's his name
again?
again? Nunes.
Yes.
So this Portuguese side have a lot of talent, and in defense they are solid at the back. They have a good goalkeeper. So for me, I think that this Portuguese team is one of the teams to look out for in the World Cup. With Cristiano in the team, I think they are still very good.
Kofi, this statement was actually made by one Portuguese journalist, and a lot of media houses picked it up.
You picked it up.
No, you know I will always refer you to.
You are a man of God, right?
Yes.
You are a pastor.
Yes.
You're a pastor.
So what the conversation? How?
I know that everything that you do is based on foundation on scripture, right? You understand?
Emotional damage.
You know, everything you do is based on biblical foundation.
Are you trying to blackmail me?
No. You know, one of the greatest leaders in the Bible?
Jesus Christ?
No. One of the greatest leaders.
In the Bible?
Yes,
okay,
in the Bible.
Who are you referring to?
David.
Yeah, okay. What
You
has
know,
he done?
David was David not because of David.
Because of the people around him?
You know, David's mighty men.
Yes. Ahithophel? Are you referring to Ahithophel?
Ahithophel was I'm talking like David. Like you have not been reading your
No,
Bible.
I don't get what you're saying.
You have not been reading your Bible. I dare say that you are backsliding on live TV.
No, I don't get what you're saying, because I talk about David's mighty men.
Yes, I'm talking about David's mighty men. The ones who could go to every enemy camp and bring David water because he was thirsty.
So what has that got to do with Cristiano Ronaldo?
Everybody needs a general.
So Cristiano Ronaldo is the general.
Every great team needs a general.
I agree.
Every great team needs a general.
The general doesn't have to be in the front line.
That's the thing. The general doesn't need to be in the front line. Nobody's saying they shouldn't take Ronaldo. He can be there. Come on, you know.
Who told you David couldn't have gotten the water himself? Who told you David couldn't have gotten the water himself? Read your Bible carefully. Allegiance, loyalty, recognition of authority.
Okay.
That guy who made that statement, that Portuguese guy,
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's a Portuguese national.
No, but you see, Sammy, and I'm actually
No,
taking you guys somewhere.
Don't bring
Yes,
Sammy.
I'm actually taking
Address me.
I'm taking you guys somewhere because it would usher us into our next conversation before we get to Europe, because Tuchel talks about structure of a team.
No, hold on.
So we'll get there. That's why I'm wanting us to get to a
hold on.
place.
I agree to all the points that you're making. The Portuguese are mightier
With Ronaldo
and fierce with Ronaldo. Don't let anybody deceive you. Football is a game of names.
Okay.
Messi on na mwasum. Wasa. Messi en ne base pon stadium pam bofram na woni Messi won suon. Woni bobo.
Now I know about Messi need this.
No, I'm making a point.
You know when Ronaldo's name come up, Messi's name.
No. I mean, this
Ronaldo fans can never make their point to that line of Messi.
Hold on. No. But you see, Argentina will not go to the World Cup minus Messi.
Yeah.
Because the fact that there's Messi on the pitch is enough to tweak the tactics of another team. That you know Messi, you know his background, you know that he can turn the game in a second. Even when he's having an off day, he can give you a low look pass. And before you realize, Julian Alvarez is on your TV celebrating. Because it's Messi.
Messi now also Arsenal. You can give no look pass.
Oh, yeah. But forgive me, but Bolan Fubiaka crowd bone from Madi.
Oh,
You understand?
So Kakra Ronaldo the most
When Ronaldo meets Senegal, you're Senegal. When Benjamin Asari sees Ronaldo, hey, I did not know what TV do na mention. When Ronaldo is coming face to face to Benjamin Asari and gives him eye contact, the guy will be dancing.
About why he celebrated that Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He said Ronaldo at the time he was the best player in the world, so why not celebrate? But you think they need him?
Well, I think they need him.
They should. He shouldn't just come off the bench. He should be starting games.
Look, Ronaldo is one of the best strikers ever to have played the game. And even at 40, his instinct. I've looked at some of Portugal's games in the qualifiers. I think there was a game where Ronaldo scored 2 goals. I think it was against Hungary or something. His positional sense. The guy is 40.
Yeah.
But his movement, his positional sense, he's lost pace. His legs are gone. You understand? That's why you need a lot of the young guys in the Bruno Fernandes and all of those other guys in there. But the fact that it's Ronaldo, his sense of position. Come on. They are a fiercer team and for me, Portugal are one of the teams who will go on and win the World Cup.
Okay, let's dovetail that conversation and we wrap up on this whole international. Sammy,
Yeah.
Tuchel talks about structure of a team, and he says he's not, he will not, what is it called, care about anybody whether you are a big boy, you are not a big boy. He's focused on the structure of the team, and for now, Morgan Rogers does what the team needs. So you can be a Jude Bellingham, you can be a Phil Foden, you can be a Harry Kane. It's the structure of the team that comes first. There's a reason why Jude Bellingham in this Tuchel team is not a starter, and even went on to say that the 3 players, Jude, Phil Foden, Kane, cannot start together because of the structure he wants to keep, because Morgan, unless he's injured, he would always play because he does. When you have players of such quality, Kane, Foden, Bellingham, who can 10 games on their heads, should you give them that preference, or you care more about the structure of your team?
I agree with the coach. I think Kofi made a point about something like this last week. I've forgotten the exact topic we were talking about, but I think maybe about the Black Stars, or I can't remember. But he made a point about it's Liverpool. We were talking about Liverpool and Slot. Trying to, he used some words and trying to fit in all the players because of the amount of money spent on them. It's either that or you put in players that actually deserve to be in the team. So what the England manager is trying to say is he's not looking at the names. He's looking at the structure of the team and trying to find the balance of the team, which is something that has affected England in a long time.
Okay.
Because they try to fit in all the stars in the team at the same time. And so when that happens, you play certain players out of position. Some players are similar to each other. And so you find certain players encroaching into other players' position. So it affects the team. The Kane bit, I don't understand, but I'm not a coach. So maybe...
So he explains that when Kane is playing as a 9, he loves to
Kane
drop.
is not your typical
Exactly. He loves
in
to
the box
drop
striker.
deep. And so whenever Kane drops deep, if Jude Bellingham is also playing, you obviously play him as a 10. And
So
when
he encroaches exactly.
on that position. Likewise, Phil Foden, it's either he plays out wide or plays as a 10. So he drew in that bit that it will be difficult to tell Kane stay up front because you might not get the best from Kane. He saw that play, everything. He loves to drop deep, link up play and all of that. So he wants that in his team. So he cannot have all these guys in the team because it will affect.
It's exactly the same point we're making about Cristiano, how the team sets up and understanding how your teammates play. And so he might fit in the team, he might not fit in a different team. But in this England team, you have to choose either Kane or Bellingham or Phil Foden. And you can't have all of them at the same time because it affects the output of the team.
That's,
so I agree with the manager.
It's like Kofi said, like you guys have said, you need a general. If you had Morgan Rogers, yes, he's on form. at Villa, and probably when it comes to the English national team, he plays very well. But if defenders are coming up against, if a defender is coming up against Jude Bellingham, and the defender is coming up against Morgan Rogers, guys, come on. I'll be more scared of Bellingham because his track record is there for everybody to see. He came back from injury and it's like he never left. You've seen him play for Real Madrid. Even the cameo he's made for the English national team, we've seen him. So why not have your best players who have the name to scare defenders in your team?
Nobody's discounting the quality that Bellingham brings, but as a coach, I don't think you are thinking about your opponent being scared of your player. You are rather thinking about what the player delivers on the pitch.
Okay.
And how he helps his teammates get the result. So you can have your opponents being scared of big names, but if that big name is a hindrance to the team performing well, then what's the point?
Kofi, in Tuchel's situation, structure over players, structure over names, or you think that Bellingham is suffering for something probably we do not know? Because I think that he should play ahead of Morgan Rogers.
You know, the chairmans, they do not respect names. And that's why if you followed this show very well, I think the last time that Percy was on this show, he mentioned the fact that if you look at Yamal's attitude and that you expect a character like Hansi Flick to tutor him and whip him in line, they are not interested in that. They are interested in what the team looks like eventually. So it's not really about who fits into the team. It's about who best suits the situation. And if you followed Tuchel's career, he's a no-nonsense manager.
Sure.
He is the guy who made that player that Chelsea sold to Manchester United. The guy who Mount. He's virtually the guy who made him a superstar.
That's true.
If I am to put it in the right sense of the word.
That's true.
So he's never been
About
a
names.
fan of names or who it is that, you know, I think that it's been one of the biggest issues of the English since time immemorial. Look, at a point they could play Paul Scholes on the wings just because they wanted Paul Scholes in the team because there was Lampard, there was Gerrard. But this is a man who is looking at the best output. I think the English haven't conceded a goal in all of the qualifiers.
Not even a single goal conceded.
And they shared that record with Spain until the Spanish make the Turkish in the last round.
Weekend.
You understand?
But if you're playing against
So-
Albania and Liechtenstein and you don't concede, it's not a problem.
Maybe you can speak a bit louder into the microphone so that the viewers
Don't worry, go ahead.
hear you out better. I think I agree with Tuchel. Look, the English typically have some sense of entitlement. And it's a culture that has been carried on by most of these English players. You understand? So I am Jude Bellingham. I need to play. I am Phil Foden. I play for Man City. I've won the Champions League. I've won 5 EPL trophies under Pep Guardiola. So I need to play. But Tuchel comes in and tells them that, listen, it's not really about who you are or where you play for or which team you play for. It's about who is able to deliver the instructions carefully. It's about who is tactically more disciplined. It's about who offers the best structure for my team. You understand? And for me, I think that it is enough a signal to the rest of the world that at the end of the day, if you come in and you are that talented, but you are not disciplined enough to play a certain role as designed by the coach, you are not going to be part of the team. It helps the general atmosphere in the dressing room. And then players also know that, like Sami said, we mentioned in the last episode, players also know that players are going to be selected based on merit. And that it's not really going to be about the fact that, oh, he is a big name player. He plays for Real Madrid. He plays for Manchester City. He plays for Bayern Munich. Whoever it is, you understand?
It's all about the structure
It's about the structure of the team. And And already there are talks about him being given a new contract.
That's true.
Because he's done an amazing job. Look, that result that they got against Serbia away from home, when many Brits felt that was going to be the biggest test, they turned up, beat the Serbians by 5 or 6 goals to 0. And it was not just about the scoreline, it was about the result. So for me, I think that Tuchel has done an excellent job, and so far his body of work has justified the decisions that he's made. Yeah.
Okay, so we wrap up on the international bit, and I'm sure you've had an excellent dose of international football. We'll get back to talk about club football, and somebody sent me a text. Are we not going to talk about Chelsea, Barcelona, or Penintemos? I mean, we'll do it on Monday, right? Because the game is on Tuesday, so don't worry. That game is a big game. But I mean, it's time to talk about club football. Let's head into Europe. Like I told you, Barcelona, after almost more than 5 years or 3 years away from the Camp Nou, they will be returning to the newly built Spotify Camp Nou, just 1/3 of the stadium for that's around 46 something thousand. That's even more than Stamford Bridge, just 1/3. And also Chelsea are in action over the weekend. Manchester United are in action. The big game in the English Premier League is Arsenal. They'll be hosting Tottenham Hotspurs. In Italy is the Derby della Madonnina, where AC Milan will take on Inter Milan. So, I mean, I'll start off with you. Lots of games across Europe, but let's start off in the Spanish La Liga. Barcelona, after many years away from the Camp Nou, will be returning to the Camp Nou. Now is the Spotify Camp Nou. It will not be the total 120,000 capacity, but just I think 1/3, 46,000 plus. They'll be hosting Athletic Bilbao, who have not really been in good form this season. I mean, would they be overawed by the occasion, and Bilbao will just be a party pooper this weekend?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Bilbao would
mess the party for them.
No, I don't think so. But I'm surprised Barcelona are going into their new stadium. Okay, not new stadium, but the Spotify Camp Nou at this time of the season. I don't know what the planning that went into all this was, but midway through the season, and then are they going to continue to the rest of the season?
Yeah,
there?
Yes, they are waiting for UEFA's license.
I don't get it.
To play Champions League games.
Yeah, it might disrupt the team. You've been playing somewhere for a while.
At the Olympic Stadium.
Yes, yeah. and I just almost midway through the season, and then you switch. They could have just finished up, because moving there, they are moving. And they are not going to use full capacity.
Yeah.
So I don't get exactly what the rush is. Maybe at the the other part, the Olympic Stadium.
Yeah.
Maybe they were spending some amount of money in terms of using the place, and so it's costing them.
Yeah.
And so they cannot wait to move to their own stadium and save some money. That could be the case, because honestly, nothing else makes sense.
Yeah.
If it has nothing to do with the financial burden it places on Barcelona, I don't see why they should be moving. So obviously, maybe the bills or the cost of using the Olympic Stadium is what they're trying to run away from, and so that's why they're in a hurry to move. Because why move when you cannot use the entire capacity of the stadium? There's still some little bit of work going on and all of that. Why move midway through the season? You want to go on pre-season. You want to start the new season at your new home ground, like Everton did, and all of that. So
I was actually thinking that would have been the
there's
idea.
planning, and then there's preparation towards that, and then that at this time, or at, this year or this month or something like that, that next season 2026, 27, Barcelona is moving to the Spotify Camp Nou. Everybody knows that, but it takes away the shine from the whole thing. But I don't think it would affect them in the game. I'm looking at this Barcelona side. They don't need any motivation or anything to beat Athletic Bilbao. Bilbao have not really impressed me so much so far this season, but Barcelona, I think, would play at home on their new home grounds, and then I think they'll get 3 maximum points.
Kofi, on Sunday, Real Madrid will be traveling away to Elche. A very tricky game. Elche have not been on form this season. A lot of the Spanish teams have actually not been playing well, but will they still, continue, their brilliant form with Kylian Mbappe, amazing form in the La Liga, or Elche might just be a banana peel for them, and Barca might just close the gap.
You want Barca to close the gap?
Oh, it's just a question I'm posing.
I'm asking.
Okay, you're asking me.
Yeah.
I don't think it will happen.
Okay.
Yes,
Then it won't happen.
I don't think LJ has the capacity to do.
Well, then it won't happen. Then it won't happen. If you don't think it will happen, then it won't happen. I've said you're a man of God, so then it won't happen. You understand? If you don't want it to happen, then it won't happen.
Anyway,
But
yeah.
Oh yeah, Dambo.
Why you think they are moving to the Spotify Camp Nou because they need the money?
Oh yeah, Dambo.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
Poverty can make you take a lot of silly decisions.
So you think it is poverty that's making Real Madrid also sell certain shares of the club and as well as the Bernabeu?
How much in percentage are Real Madrid selling? And how much is it going to generate?
But what
don't bring in the argument.
I think how many percentage?
Yeah, about 10%.
Yeah, 10%.
How much is it bringing?
Yeah, and it's not just that too.
How much have Barcelona sold?
They're actually hoping that they'll open up the shares and now people come and own shares of Real Madrid.
For only 10%.
No, I'm not.
The 90% is going to still belong to the hardcore supporters who own the club.
It will come.
No.
It starts somewhere.
No.
But it's business.
Yes, it's business. That's why I want to. That's why.
Why are you rushing to go to the stadium?
Okay.
When you cannot use the whole entirety of the stadium.
But I don't think this is the first time a team has moved.
No,
to the stadium
this is not the first time. No. What is the whole rationale behind it?
I don't know.
But if you are building your house and the house is not really complete and then you quickly want to move in, it's because you don't want to pay under rent to your
No,
landlord.
probably maybe because someone also told me that. Someone also told me that when you are in, it will force you to want to complete it.
No, but when you move in Barcelona's situation, where are they going to get the money from?
No, but the stadium is being financed 100% politically by.
So why don't you let them finish?
There's Spotify who have done
they won't call, baby.
Oh God.
So you think it's monetary reasons?
I think that's the only thing that makes sense, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's switch to Europe. Kobe, is Arsenal dropping point this weekend
Against Spurs?
against Spurs?
Ordinarily, they should be dropping points against Spurs, but this Spurs team is not good enough.
Arsenal will beat them.
I don't think they are good enough to stand the might of Arsenal. Honestly, if Arsenal drop points against Spurs, it will come as a shock to me.
You think City will beat Newcastle? Or you see, Newcastle is one of those teams that City has struggled against over the years. Newcastle, Tottenham Hotspurs.
Sami mentions something that we are not paying a lot of attention to, and he's kept mentioning it over the last few weeks. Quietly, City are evolving, and they are evolving again. They are going about their duty silently, and they have one of the most informed players in the world, Erling Haaland. Yeah. Even when they are not playing well, Erling Haaland is able to bang in the goals. Yeah. I watched them against Liverpool. I think they were brilliant. Yeah. You understand? As much as Liverpool have been terrible over the course of the season, I do not think Newcastle will be naive defensively like Liverpool were. You understand? And I've looked at Newcastle also. Walter Madi. He's carried his form into Germany. He's becoming the new poster boy of German football. You understand? And for me, I think that if you look at everything that he's doing, if you look at that he had to come in from Isaac under the circumstances that he came in. I think he's settled now, and then we are getting to see the best out of him. So it will be a difficult fixture. I believe it will be a difficult fixture. But based on Man City's recent record, recent rejuvenated form, I think that the West for City should be a draw.
The West for City. Sammy, the Arsenal game as well as the City game. These are two big games that can switch or determine probably the next few weeks who might just enter December on top of the table, because Arsenal are just 4 points ahead of City. If they drop points and City win, it throws the league even more wide open than it is now.
They are very difficult games.
Yeah.
But when you look at this Arsenal side, they're currently the best team in the league. They are on form. And you look at Tottenham, you don't know what to expect. This is a team that, yes, they can score goals, but sometimes they also concede. And so typically you would say that Arsenal are supposed to win the game. I expect Arsenal to win this game. I think Arsenal would drop points at some point, but
it's not this game.
It's probably not this game.
Okay.
They have a difficult week coming up. So yes, they might beat Spurs, but they play Bayern Munich, then they play Chelsea.
Chelsea, a very
And so
difficult week.
I
Then
just
they
think
play
that
Villa,
if
they
City,
play Brentford.
yes, if City get that win against Newcastle, which I think they would get, they just keep Arsenal on their toes, and I think City would get 3 maximum points. But one thing that I said earlier on is that when Arsenal begins to start missing 1 or 2 players, then it starts taking a toll on the team.
I don't think Gabriel will be
Now,
around.
exactly,
Yes,
Gabriel
is injured.
looks likely to be out,
Yeah.
and not just for one game. And so, yes, they have the other defender.
Mascara and all
Yes,
of that in there.
but they when you play consistently with the same team over a period of time, they know how to play. You make 1 or 2 changes, it works. But when you start making certain changes in the team, Gokeres, I'm sure he should be back in the team.
Yeah.
Odegaard has been out. 1 or 2 changes.
They thought they were going to have even Gabriel Jesus. He goes to Brazil. He gets injured, so he's also out.
I'm just hoping that Arsenal still maintains that stability. But I think against Spurs, they are favourites to win that game. But going forward is where we'll be looking at. But for City against Newcastle, City sometimes they can surprise you. They can surprise you.
You don't know the City team that will turn up.
But I think that this weekend Newcastle will not get anything.
Okay, so I'll run by you as the fixtures. United, obviously, I think amongst all the top teams in the Premier League, United have the easiest next 5 fixtures. If they can go through all those 5 games, that's about 15 points there. And that would, cushion United probably in the top 3, top 2, depending on the other team. But Kofi, let's switch to the Derby de la Madonnina. Surprisingly, AC Milan are arguably one of the best teams in the Italian Serie A this season. They'll be coming up against Inter Milan. It's an old derby. I mean, these guys know each other. Last season, if you compare the point tally from the Derby del Madonnina, AC Milan had the best of points tally. But this season too as well, they are playing very well. They come up against Inter Milan. Kofi, how do you see that game panning out?
Who's the coach of AC Milan?
Is it Allegri?
Yeah,
I think it's still Allegri is back in charge of Milan. Yeah.
There's a reason AC Milan are having a resurgence.
So you think it's because of the manager?
Because of the manager.
Okay.
Because of the manager. And we've spoken about Inter extensively on this show. I think that in terms of quality or depth of squad, no team in Italy has the level of quality and depth of squad like Inter does have. And we've spoken about the fact also that they have players who are very much picking up form. Lautaro Martinez is one of them. And then even the fact that Thuram is injured. But there are other players who are stepping in and doing the job for them.
True.
So it should be a very beautiful fixture. If you look on the league table, they're 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, 2
they're
points.
1 and 2.
Roma is ahead of them because of goals.
Goal difference.
So, just 2 points separating the two.
Yeah, I mean,
but AC Milan are unbeaten their last 5 matches.
AC Milan have surprised me, honestly, this season. They have really surprised me. And if you look on top of the Serie A, you realize that there are a cluster of teams there who are separated by some tiny points. I mean, from 1 to 6, I think the point differential is no more than 4.
It's 4, just 4.
Yes, so it tells you the level of competition in the Serie A this season. I think that it should be a very fanciful game. I remember this game very well because of Tijani Reinders last season. The derby.
Milan beat.
Yes, they came from behind to beat 2-1.
Yeah.
So I am thinking that, look, this game has goals in it.
Yeah.
And
who wins it for you?
For me, I think I am tipping Inter Milan to beat them.
Despite like I said, AC Milan beaten in their last 5 games.
It doesn't matter. It's about desire. It's about who wants to turn up. It's about who wants to be in the limelight. And for me,
Inter Milan wins it.
I think Inter Milan wins it for me.
Sammy, Kofi believes that Inter would nick this game. AC Milan don't have superstars or stellar names. The only probably big guy in there is Rafael Leao. For me, he's gone under the radar over the last few couple of months. But they are one of the, if not the most informed team, if the form guide is anything to go by, unbeaten in their last 5 games. Inter have lost 1 in their last 5. Roma have lost 2 in their last 5. So look at the top 5 teams. AC Milan and Bologna have the best form going into this weekend's fixture. Who wins the Derby della Madonnina?
It might seem very easy that you say that Inter should win because I think they have the better squad. But this AC Milan side, I think we are sleeping on them. They are not the bad side at all.
Okay.
And winning this fixture, Inter is playing home, right?
Yes, at the Giuseppe Meazza Stadium.
I don't think Inter will get 3 maximum points.
Okay.
Because I don't think AC Milan will lose. It looks like a difficult prediction, but when you look at
draw over 2.5,
when you look at how both teams have fared in recent games, so you said draw over 2.5. We might not see too many goals in the game.
But these two sides, when they meet, at least there's more than 2 goals in there.
Over 1.5 is guaranteed, yes, but that's not a lot.
Okay.
So it's guaranteed. So because
it's a lot for Jeff.
When you look at both sides, look, in recent times, even if you look at their form guide and the statistics, Inter have struggled to beat AC Milan.
That's true.
In the last couple of matches, and even then, AC Milan were not too strong a team. And this season they are playing really well. So I think it's going to be a difficult game for Inter. I think we might see AC Milan win or draw.
Okay. Let me quickly before I wrap up on the show. It's been an amazing time. But John Bafo Amwaku says he's watching live from New Takrady. We greet all our fans at New Takrady.
Anyway in New Takrady.
He's not anywhere close.
I know Esor.
What is
you don't know Akubrim?
No. Esor is.
You don't know Small Jendu?
No.
You don't know Las Palmas.
You don't
know Las Palmas.
I know Las Palmas.
Ask him what he went to do there.
Oh no, we actually went to Yokosra, a member of ours.
Then you only went
to. So can you go there by yourself?
Esro is called Kokwado.
Oh, I can't go to New Takrady by myself. Why am I? Do I need guidance?
One of these days we'll take Lucky to New Takrady and then we'll leave him there.
Miguel says that I think Tuchel has a problem with Jude, of which I think he wouldn't succeed when care isn't taken. Aside Jude's injury, Rodgers is having a rough season as compared to last season. Palmer 2 days. So yes, that midfield challenge is really choked. We are waiting for the final list that will come from Tuchel's camp to see which player will make it to the World Cup 2026. Except you've made my day. Why? Thanks. That's coming from lyrics there. This one is Kofi Ankasa no Kofi Ankasa no if we go preach Bible. Let me get this. Let me say that.
We understand.
Look at Kofi's face saying, I can get you the names. Let him produce the names of Asians who have been on the Ballon d'Or list. Kofi, produce the names. Is Egypt, Morocco, Ghana a joke to you? Jeffrey again says that you the mind controversial Kofi Asidu. Okay, these are all comments coming through from lyrics. You think kids in Venezuela back then didn't watch Asamoah Gyan? You think Eto'o and Didier Drogba are not mentors for even some kids in Europe? So lots of comments coming through. Lyrics says that Sammy, you are right. If Africa had more slots in the days of Abedi Pele and even those years we were winning AFCON back to back, we could have won it. And I agree with that. I think that the little slots we got affected us over the years. Gattuso Ankasa, he is mad. He's a madman. This nonsense he's saying there. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us this Thursday morning for another exciting show right here on the Sport Morning Show live on YouTube Sport 101. The show comes your way every Monday 9 to 11 a.m. and Thursday 9 to 11 a.m. as well. We are proudly held down by Nkonim phones. When I say Nkonim phones, I'm talking about not just phones, phone accessory, gadgets, chargers, batteries, phone cases, screen protectors, everything phone Trust me, Nkunim Phone will sort you out. They are located at Market Circle, just close to the Bank of Africa. So this weekend, lots of action. And the guy who sent me a message asking, are we not going to talk about Chelsea Barcelona? We'll do that on Monday when we sit down to review everything that happened over the weekend. And obviously, talk Champions League football. It's going to be a big game. Kofi, Sammy, hopefully Monday we'll be here to talk sports again.
Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Guys, thank you so much for watching.
See.
Hey, is this coming from Sammy or is it coming from me?